My name's Ben Lowry and I'm the Deputy Principal at a private boys' school in Brisbane.
Okay, Ben, I thought it'd be really good for parents to ask what are the factors that parents should consider when choosing a school for their children?
I guess the most important thing for you to consider is that you need to know your child. There are a lot of different factors that will weigh up your final decision, but most importantly you need to know your child best. You need to consider what are their strength areas, what are their growth areas, and what sort of environment your child will fit into the best for their learning. Once you've done that, I think you really need to consider what you're trying to achieve from your child's education. If it's a purely academic education that you're after, then some schools may be better than others. The school that focuses very heavily on academic results and has a good track record of academic results might be the school for you. If you're after a school that combines the faith values with academic output, then I guess you need to consider a school of that nature. You might be looking for a school that's well balanced between academic life and co-curricular life and allows a lot of different opportunities for your son or your daughter. Then you need to weigh up that type of school. For me personally, if I was choosing a school, I think I'd look at the values that the school offers. I'd look at the mission statement and the ethos of the school, and then weigh that up with its academic results in the past, the co-curricular life of the school, and the opportunities that the school may offer my son or daughter, both at present and in the future.
Okay, Ben, that's just really awesome. What are the advantages of single-sex education?
There are a lot of advantages for both single-sex and co-educational education. If you place your son or your daughter in a single-sex school and put them in a certain classroom, just having them in a single-sex classroom isn't necessarily going to guarantee their results will improve or be better. I think the big thing that you need to consider with a single-sex education is the curriculum and the pedagogy of the particular school. A single-sex school who teaches directly for the sex that they educate, so an all-boys school who designs their curriculum and pedagogy around male learning styles would be much better for a student as opposed to a single-sex school that doesn't do that. If you can understand the school's curriculum, understand the school's pedagogy, and understand that both boys and girls learn very differently, and then find a school that caters for say boys in particular or girls in particular, that's going to get you better results in a single-sex environment. An example of that might be an all-boys mathematics class that has a very kinesthetic focus from the teacher that applies very well for that group of boys, but maybe not as well in an all-girls environment. Interestingly, in about 2000, ASA, the Australian Council of Educational Research, did a study also noting that one of the big advantages of single-sex education was that boys differentiate from girls in both their cognitive and physical developmental rate, and therefore single-sex education can then allow a teacher to be able to cater for, or a school to be able to cater for through their curriculum, the specific education of boys at that level, as opposed to a combination of boys and girls in the co-ed environment.
That's awesome. Ben, and what about co-education? What are the advantages of co-education?
I think, like single-sex, co-education has many advantages as well. The moment you put both boys and girls in the classroom, you expose all of the students to a really wide range of opinions and a diversity of understanding, and I think that helps both the boys and the girls develop their analytical skills and further differing viewpoints on whatever the topic may be. I think you also, when you put boys and girls in a classroom or in a co-educational environment where it's very gender rich, you encourage that equality of gender and that appreciation of the opposite gender. And socially, I think it would be the most common one that people, generally speaking, would acknowledge that socially in a co-educational environment, boys definitely learn to build understandings of relationships with girls, and girls definitely build understanding of relationships with boys very well. Ultimately, though, I think regardless of the education environment, that a good teacher should be able to recognise the learning styles of the students and cater the lessons or the instruction of that class and the curriculum and the pedagogy of that class over the course of the learning or over the period of the learning to be able to suit the students. And if they can recognise those learning styles of the students, then they can then further their understanding of whatever the topic may be.
Ben, that's pretty awesome. Last question. What do parents do if the school that they've chosen doesn't end up suiting their child?
I think if I was choosing a school for my child, then rather than get myself in a position where I've chosen the wrong school and be unhappy with it, then I'd be a good student myself to start with. I'd do my homework when I first chose a school and try and do as much research about the school as possible and understand my child so that I'm trying to alleviate that outcome in the first place. Then ultimately, if I did get myself in a position where my son or daughter was unhappy at the school that they were at, if I was unhappy with the service I was getting, I think it's really important to open the lines of communication between yourself and the school. If you're open with the school, then a good school will always be open with you and do anything they can to help further your child's learning and encourage their situation to be more positive. If the school does that, then I think you can work out something and it may work out to be a positive outcome. And I think that would be the best alternative.
Thanks, Ben, for your time. It's excellent.